it's just, you just have this calling to move to a different city and just do something different, then that most likely is your intuition and your spirit guides and all of those letting you know, yes, that's part of your purpose. That is what you're supposed to do. And just recently, I've been, viewing different things and that resonate with me, that other people have been going through, that resonate with me as far as family, as far as wanting to move, move away from this city, do some different things. So that just let me know that that feeling that I have is not wrong and I'm not the only one. So I told you guys before, spoke to you guys before about my relationship with my parents and how, it was coming up. And my grandmother, we're very, very close, and that's who I consider my mom because she took care of me. She raised me. Those important milestones and things in my life, it was her that was there for me. And that's not to discredit my mom. She was going through her own things, as I told you guys before, but your children are impacted by those things. So I will say that like I said, I don't want to make my mom feel bad or, do any of those things, but I do want to speak my truth. So, as I stated just now, my grandma was the one that raised me. She's the one that, did things for me, and those things that happened in my life, she was there for me. My mom, I did not hear I love you from my parents and really receive like hugs and I'm proud of you and encouragement and those things until I was grown, like within the last, I want to say 10 years. I ain't gonna even say 10 years, within the last 5 years, I'm just now hearing I love you. I'm just now getting hugs and feeling those embraces. And it's because she was depressed, she was so closed off. We felt like, I felt like a burden to her. And I felt like I was in the way, and I never really expressed this to her. My siblings have expressed this to her, and and this is what I don't understand is like 1 minute I have a mom or I have a mother, and then the next minute we're just, two people, and you call me and you vent and you're crying because your other children are, the same ones that right now you'll stick up for, the same ones right now that you'll take their word or take them over mine are the ones that disrespect you and just, and I've never, okay, but anyways, so, as I was saying, I never received those hugs. I never received all of those things. And it was a thing where I will always hear, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. And the funeral that I just recently went to, that aunt is the one that actually told her, hey, stop telling her that. Stop talking to her like that. Stop, speaking those words into her. And that's when it stopped. I mean, every now and then, even then, since I've had my baby, I've heard the word fat. I've heard, and the shade, and it's triggering. So the reason why I brought this up is because my so-called alleged baby father, the second one, and I don't even consider my first one a baby father. That was my ex-husband. But he caught himself reaching out to my mom after I blocked him because he's very disrespectful and toxic, and we just don't mesh well. So he attempted to reach out to my mother and told her, I don't even know what he told her because that's not how she didn't come to me in that way. She pulled me outside and was like, I want to tell you something, but I don't want you to get mad. She always say that, but I don't want you to get mad. I'm not trying to, take sides, but your baby father called me and he said this, and that. And he basically was like, you won't let him be in Marty's life because of money. And I told him, well, I never kept you guys away from your father. Okay, but you didn't tell him that you used to drop us off. You didn't take care of us. That's none of his business. But this is the whole point. At some point, I needed a mother. Like, you've had plenty of opportunities to be a mother. And, okay, so that, number one, pissed me off. Number two, is there's no respect amongst Me being an individual and you being an individual, you being a mother, me being a mother, you being a woman, me being a woman. Like for some reason, parents, and I don't know if it's the previous generation, parents get into their head that they're parents and they forget how to be a friend or respect their children as individuals. And I just had this conversation with my 10-year-old daughter, and I'm grateful for that experience with her, because I know what to do with my children. I know how to speak to my children. I know how to communicate with my children. I know how to, show love and admiration and speak that life and love and positivity into my children. So I am grateful for that, because I didn't receive that. But as I stated, it was just many opportunities where there was a chance for you to be more, or to, and as y'all can see on Facebook, y'all see I take her out to dinner for birthdays. I do this for other family members as well. But do y'all see me get any of that? And then for y'all, it's funny. For y'all, it's a joke. For y'all feel like it's something that triggers me. And deep down, yes, it does, because those are my family members, and I feel like these are the people that I love. These are the people that I want to share my accomplishments with. I want to spoil. I want to do all of the. I'm that type of person. But I didn't realize up until within the past 48 hours, Spirit told me that that's what you came here to do. You came here to go through all of this and find a way to overcome all of that and be greater and be more. Okay. So if you are, resonating with my story, if you're going through the same thing, understand that is your opportunity to break away from that, to break those generational curses, to break those chains and be more. So outside of all of those things, there were plenty of incidents before where I told y'all when I moved back here, I was facing situations with my family. Yes, I was living in her house, but I was going through a divorce, and my ex-husband at the time was being nasty. And because he was mad, he had some resentment because I left him, and I meant it. But and I think that he had a fear that I was going to expose him or make him look bad. So he tried to beat me to the course and told them that I was living in a trap, that he just was painting me out to be this crazy bad person. So the only person that I thought that I could rely on at that point was my mother, because she saw us fight. She would come pick me up. She's the one that called the police on him, the reason why he went to prison for putting his hands on me. So I felt like I would have, automatically had that support. I'm going to continue to talk. No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone the storage is full, and I have work in there, so I don't want to delete anything, and it actually stopped recording. So I'm just going to continue it on my laptop here. It's a little grainy or whatever, but as I was stating before I got cut off, I just expected more support from my family during certain instances. So it wasn't just the you talking to my baby daddy thing. We're not talking right now, and that's because of what I keep telling y'all. I've had several conversations with her because I've separated myself from my siblings and their children, and there's a reason for that. And I've expressed to her several times to respect what I'm saying to you, respect my wishes, respect what I'm asking you. And even if you don't, have a conversation with me. So recently she took it upon herself to take my nieces to my daughter's father's house to go see her, which that is not what I have the problem with. My issue is you did not talk to me. And then when I called you and said something to you about it, you got disrespectful and smart. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So prior to that, if y'all know me by now, it's never just one thing. I kind of let things, I kind of give you the rope and let you keep, you know, and let you hang yourself basically with it. Okay. So if you hear that I cut somebody off or I did any of that, it wasn't just one thing that made me do that. Okay. It got to a point where it's like, okay, you just not gonna get it. I just need to get away from you. So, if you guys, before I started actually doing Goddess Retreat Boutique, I was making shirts. You guys know I've been trying to do that business venture for some time now. And there was a point where I was making shirts and I had like one or two, and they were family members, which it was her husband, which I really, really appreciated because she wasn't supporting me in. And even if when she did, it's always something smart or some type of shade or some type of just throw it in there. So I will offer, to make her stuff. I don't know if within me I was doing stuff for her to let me know, hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, I've always I've been trying to extend that olive branch to receive something that I just had to realize I'm just not going to receive. And I had to come to terms with that. So, what really, really, I felt like because her husband was supporting me and he was, paying me to do this, I was making cakes for him and all of those things. I think there was a little bit of jealousy within that. And I think that's just the type of person that she is. She has a lot of, my siblings have a lot, I didn't realize until recently that that's where they get a lot of that stuff from. And they were around her more than I was because my family, my grandmother took care of me. She would get me. It wasn't a problem. So, and they didn't have that. So they were around her more, and that could be why, they have a lot of those similarities that I just can't stand to be around. And that's not to say I'm I'm perfect and I don't have my flaws. It's just that, okay, so recently, as you guys know, I would give her products, I would give her soap, I would give her this, and that. And her husband, give them stuff as well because they were the people that I would test my products out on. Do you like this smell? Do you like, this? How did it lather? How did it do? Those type of things. So, which it wasn't everything. I thought everything was all good up until he called me and was like, hey, I want to do this. Do you have this? And I gave her my website. She didn't even know, my family didn't even know that I had all of this going on because I keep it to myself because I don't want anybody being negative or talking down or gossiping or telling my business, which is why most of y'all know my business to begin with because of them. So, so I gave her my website so that he could go on there and see, exactly what I had, the products that I have, the scents that I have, all those things so he could, figure out what it is that he was looking for. So I gave him one particular thing and he liked the smell. So he came back once he ran out of that to, get some more products. And do y'all know a couple weeks ago, this lady called me. I guess they decided to go to the mall. And I guess they were smelling colognes or whatever. And she called me and was like, now, by this time, you see my site, and I'm letting him know. He was like, he liked that smell. And I was like, yeah, a lot of my customers, like, that's my number one men's product. They love that particular scent or fragrance. And it's supposed to be, similar to this. I don't know. That's what the manufacturer advertised. So based on, and I went with it based on other customers telling me that they actually had this product and it smells similar. So I'm like, okay, it's, I'll keep it. And even if that isn't the case, it's a popular fragrance amongst my male customers and my women customers for their men. So she calls me, I just randomly out of the blue. It was like, we went to the mall. Oh, we in the mall, and we was just, around smelling fragrances, and we asked to smell, what you call it been getting from you, and it don't smell nothing like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, I just wanted to call to let you know that. So then the thing happened with my daughter. So I'm like, you know what? It hurt me. I cried. I do cry because I feel like these are my people, y'all. Like, it just hurt me, you know? So when my baby daddy felt like you was doing something by calling her and saying something to her, this is the same woman who I was hungry and trying to figure it out, and you was getting, I don't care if it was $5 in child support from my daddy, and you dead told me that was your money. So if y'all wonder why I'm independent, why I want to do this on my own, why I don't want to ask nobody for no help, why I have the mentality and the drive and the passion that I have, is because I had to, based on the people around me, based on the family that I grew up around, based on my parents. I refuse to be like that or feel like that's what I'm supposed to be in my life, and that's not to talk down on them. Okay. I just needed to get this out. And I hope that y'all share this. I hope you watch this so that you can know and understand from my point of view, because people don't listen to me. They always expect me to be the bigger person and to just let stuff go and don't say nothing. And it's just been a pile up of stuff, bro. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of people triggering my anxiety. I'm tired of people. I had a mini stroke, bro, and was around a stranger who didn't want to call for no help or nothing. Those moments for me were wake up calls. If y'all are wondering why, Kim, you got in an accident and why you haven't sued or anything, I was in their vehicle and she called me, both of them, because if they would have had to pay for it. I didn't know at the time that her husband was paying their car insurance. That's why I didn't pursue it. That's why I didn't push it any further. And if y'all don't know, every freaking day I'm in pain. I'm just tired. And people don't think about, they don't know how to put themselves outside of themselves and put themselves in other people's shoes and have compassion and to just think about what it is that you're doing to this person, especially somebody like me that love you and that's gonna go out to give my last dollar, because I know God gonna bless me, because I know God has blessed me with somebody in my life that loves me just as much as the love that I'm trying to give to other people, bro. And I had to realize that I gotta be selfish. I gotta love me more than I love these people. I gotta do more for me. Think about me first before I do for these other people. So it's not I'm mean, it's not I'm toxic, it's not I done joined a cult, it's not that I'm talking to dead people who got me, it's not none of that. It's the actions of these people that drove me to this point. And I refuse to have my children grow up and have a similar story to mine. I've already made my mistakes, and I woke up, at a good time to be able to make those corrections so that going forward, their story will be different. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be different. And that's what's important to me. That's what matters to me. So this was my vent about, once again, part two, dealing with toxic family and understanding that we don't have to put up with toxic behavior. We don't have to put up with emotional abuse. A lot of times, and I'm starting a cause based on domestic violence. And a lot of times we feel like domestic violence is just romantic relationships. It's also family and friends, and it's not just physical abuse. You understand? There's different forms of abuse. And that is why I am the way I am now. And it sounds crazy, but once I cut those cords, y'all, I'm at peace. I haven't had very, very bad anxiety. I haven't been depressed. I haven't wanted to just lay in my bed all day and just not do anything. I have not been in that space or that energy since I cut those cords. So I hope, this helped someone. As usual, I needed to get this out. I don't think there's anything else that I needed to say. I just don't like for it to seem like I'm coming off as this negative or mean person. And it's because of the environment or the people that were around me and how I was allowing these things to, like I said, trigger me and to make me sick. Depression and anxiety, those can lead to chronic illnesses, but those can be considered diseases or illnesses. You know what I mean? All right, so I love you guys. I want you to please stay safe. I want you to be blessed and stay blessed because you are blessed. Namaste.